We got some YouTuber drama, and I don't like to do this stuff, but I find it odd because it's at this weird cross-section of popular culture and lawsuits as well, because there's been a lot of lawsuits that have been flying around, and off the back of this, you could call it fight, you could call this diving event, you could also call it abortion performed live on pay-per-view, sort of, kind of at the center of this lawsuit here. But you have a fight promoter who has done good stuff in the past, but now they're involved with a morally gray individual like the Paul brothers. I don't know them from a fucking hole in the wall, okay? Not watched any of their content. Nothing that they do tends to really stimulate my intellectual endeavors or even my morbid curiosity. I think that they're excellent marketers. It's the nicest thing I can say about them. I think they do a great job at making money. And by fighting Ben Askren, which Paul is this? Jake Paul? Yeah. They fought him April 17th. They made a whole fucking bunch of money. $75 million or something. But that's not enough for Triller Fight Club, which I think was also the promoter for Mike Tyson's Legends Only League, which I stumped for because I think it's a really cool idea for a bunch of out-of-work former celebrities, former Hall of Famers who still have something to give, but just there aren't enough positions out there because diversity from Fox Sports, NBC Sports, whatever the other fucking channels are out there, ESPN, if they get their head out of Xi Jinping's ass long enough to remember that sports is at the heart of what they do and not inclusion. But Triller is out there suing. They sued a whole host of people, but the guy at the center of this lawsuit that you might have heard about is one Ethan Klein, better known as h3h3. Runs, I guess, one of the biggest podcasts. Again, this is another one of those circles where I know the name, I know the guy, don't watch any of the content. That's not fair. I've watched, 2 podcasts of his because Jordan Peterson was on there, and I think I've pretty much watched every Jordan Peterson podcast because I think an opportunity to learn is valuable, and even if he's talking to a certifiable idiot, it's worth your time. But with that said, yeah, he's one of the biggest names out there. But again, it's another one of those things where I don't like either of these people involved, so I can walk into this totally neutral, okay? But then I seen this lawsuit come out here saying that popular podcast pointed out as likely costing Triller $50 million in damages by pirating Paul versus Askren event. Okay, the entire fight itself, like the Paul Askren fight, what was it, under 2 minutes? Okay, I watched the entire thing in a fucking Twitter clip, okay? Does that mean that whoever retweeted or posted that is costing Triller millions of dollars? No, because I never would have fucking bought it to begin with. I wouldn't have even given a shit if it didn't pop up. Other than I seen that ... that looks like a dive, and it's like, what are you guys talking about? Oh, that thing is happening? Right, okay. Last week, Triller Fight Club filed a lawsuit in response to widespread piracy of its pay-per-view event, Yarhar, headlined by Jake Paul and Ben Askren on April 17th of this year. The lawsuit, which was officially filed in the U.S. District Court of Central California on April 26th, is seeking $100 million in damages from the group's Triller Fight Club says illegally broadcast the fight card. And yeah, that lawsuit was out there, but it was completely and totally wrought with problems, mostly because you didn't claim anything, really. It was just more like, yeah, these people did something. Okay, what did they do specifically? Don't know, but we want to sue them for money. So guess what happened with that first lawsuit? Boop, tossed out of court. Okay, fair enough. Come back, which they did. They did today, in fact. Came back with another lawsuit. And were they more specific about it? No. Okay. They say a bunch of stuff here, okay? They have it as Twitter user Keemstar. He's another huge YouTuber. Normally he's pretty on the level, but he does have a specific hatred for h3h3, which kind of clouds his judgment on this one because the lawsuit itself is just a walking abortion. There are several other lawyers online that have gone through it, and most people can pretty much look at it, and I couldn't get a copy of it. I'd have to sign up for some kind of law thing, and I was like, whatever, I don't care. Watched a quick breakdown on it, and I was like, yeah, they didn't allege anything in it. Okay, they weren't specific about any of the claims, other than the fact that, yeah, every time that somebody watched this, and there was like 1 million people watching h3h3's commentary on it, would have been a potential customer. Therefore, the million people that were watching that at $50 a head would have cost them $50 million specifically from H3h3's rebroadcast of it. And then the other people that were also sued as well, the other 11 or 10 other people that were on there, would have amounted to another $50 million, hence the $100 million. But one thing about the lawsuit that you have to claim is specific damages that are caused by those people. And if you're going to be suing all of those parties in one lawsuit, they have to have the same damages alleged against them. And nobody else would have been the same as Ethan Klein in that claim there. Therefore, making that lawsuit not quite a drooling, helmet-bedecked idiot, but it definitely did ride the short bus in order to get to the courtroom. So, is it going to get thrown out? Very much so. Is Keemstar normally pretty good on his coverage, but he's a little bit blinded by rage on this one? I think you have your answer to it right there. But there's another piece of weird legal drama, I guess, when it comes to YouTubers. Again, I don't like to do this kind of stuff. But here's another big name, an emphasis on the big. Boogie2988, coming at you live via the power of the internet. I think that's his sign-on. A guy I'm a little bit more familiar with, okay? Everybody says he's a great dude, okay? There's a bunch of drama surrounding him, orbiting rather. No, he's not such a great dude. I'm kind of in the middle. Once again, another person I don't really care about. I just know who he is, okay? And he popped up. I know it's tough for somebody of that size to pop up somewhere, but he gained some kind of unwanted attention because he was on a live stream with a certain person that goes by the name Frank Hassel. Again, if you guys are watching this, I totally forgive you if you don't know any of these names because it's just senseless YouTube shit and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's just funny, the entire situation. He was on a live stream with Frank Hassel. They got into it verbally or whatever. Boogie said, "Come over, I'll kick your ass," something like that. They got into a verbal scrum of sorts. And then Frank Hassel made his way to Boogie's house, knocked on his door. And that's how Boogie greeted him. But he also did something else that is not shown in this picture. And I don't think I can show you this without getting it age-gated, so I won't. But I will describe this to you. He fired off the left's mythical idea of a warning shot. Fucking a great way to de-escalate a situation, right? Wrong. It's illegal. And you can get charged for a felony because of it. That's what's happened here to Boogie. YouTube star Boogie2988 is facing a aggravated assault charge stemming from a 2020 gun incident involving fellow YouTuber Frank Hassel. Boogie, whose real name is Stephen Williams, is wanted on an arrest warrant in Washington County, Arkansas. Online records show, according to Drama Alert host Keemstar. Again, he pops up. The 46-year-old Boogie pointed a gun and fired a warning shot at Frank Hassel. Into the air, more than likely. But again, okay, this is where the charge comes into it, because that's the specific action. It wasn't the fact that he has castle doctrine in Arkansas of some kind. I'm not too familiar with everything, but he was alleging that he was performing self-defense against Frank Hassel being on his property, and that is a valid complaint. But firing a gun all willy-nilly into the air, that's not necessarily covered, okay? He has accused Hassel of being an online troll and of harassing him prior to the incident, according to Keemstar. Yeah, there's a live stream, like I said to begin with. It's out there. It's known about, but it doesn't make up for the fact that you fired a shot in the air, you fat asshole. The warrant for Boogie's arrest was issued. This is, oh my god, sometimes YouTube's fucking hilarious. Unintentionally in this case. It was issued by the Washington County Judge on May 7th and is listed on the Washington County Sheriff's Office website. His bond is set for $5,000. Boogie is best known for ranting videos. Yes. Boogie faces up to 6 years in prison if found guilty of aggravated assault, according to the court documents obtained by Heavy, accurate outlet to be reporting on this. The case against Boogie was filed on May 7th, 2021. He is charged with aggravated assault, which is a Class D felony in Arkansas. According to Arkansas state law, a Class D felony carries a potential sentence of up to 6 years in prison as a possible fine of up to $10,000. And the charge was filed by Fayetteville Police Department. Prosecuting attorney Matthew Durrett and Deputy Prosecutor Dennis Dean obtained the warrant according to the criminal information filed by the prosecutor on or about September 28th. Said defendant knowingly and under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life, purposefully displays a firearm in such a manner that creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury. The defendant discharged a firearm into a residential neighborhood, thereby manifesting an extreme indifference to the value of human life and creating a substantial danger of death or physical injury against the peace and dignity of the state of Arkansas. Big wordy claim for the fact that if you discharge a gun into the air, guess what? That bullet, it doesn't keep going, it doesn't pierce the atmosphere, it doesn't find its way to the sun eventually. No, it's got to come back down. Could it have landed at a kid in a playground? Well, Arkansas, I'm pretty sure, was still locked down in September of 2020. It wouldn't have been possible. But at the same time, if somebody was outside in the front lawn and then they just all of a sudden, boom, fucking drop dead, that would be a problem. That would be an issue. Did that happen? No. Did he still fire that warning shot off into the air? Yes. Is it on camera? Yes. Is there any cutaways from the fact that he fired it into the air and shot? No, it's right there. So he's going to have a tough time getting away from this charge. But at the same time, for all intents and purposes, this seems to be one of the only charges against Boogie. Don't know his criminal history. I know he's a piece of shit for many other things. But at the same time, what's going to happen with this? He'll probably get a plea deal. He'll probably plea this down. He'll probably get a fine. He might end up pleading down to felon or to a misdemeanor of sorts. He's not going to be going away for 6 years. He's not going to be paying $10,000. He'll just end up pleading down to something completely lesser. There won't be some long drawn out YouTube court battle. It's just going to be as anticlimactic as what happens with the Jake Paul h3h3 YouTuber Triller whatever fucking lawsuit to begin with. It's going to get dismissed. This one's going to get plead down. And more goofy shit between YouTubers is going to keep on happening for as long as this is still a fucking platform, because these narcissistic motherfuckers are crazy as shit. And I'm so happy to be classified among them. Let's talk about sports next, shall we? Because we got some big old news there. And controversy, I guess, sort of, maybe, kind of, whatever. It's sports. It's fun. It's up next. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.